Yokunanda Shingla Chupasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamyatayami Chidan Soki Chonamha Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Rola Penchir Sangye Drupasho Chidan Soki Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Rola Penchir Sangye Drupasho Chidan Soki Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Rola Penchir Sangye Druparsho Shogadi Shmogadi. Hmm? Oh, after his homework.
Oh, yes.
If he has a homework, I don't know.
For downstairs.
Oh.
We're talking about your bonus that you're going to get in the next Kalpa.
Latest. The very latest.
Okay. So last class we talked about the seventh argument about the kunshi. So in the context of our seventh argument, what are the examples given of two types of meditation where you need a foundation consciousness?
Does sleep count as a type of meditation?
That was 2 classes ago. What was that? I guess there was 3, but there was 2 that were given together for a specific reason. Don't ask me what the reason is.
Yeah, I do
No
guess.
idea?
Idea? I was going to guess some kind of formless realm meditation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which one? Which?
That was just like a nice stab. I don't actually remember.
When you're coming to the direct perception.
Meditating on
Yeah, that's the next question. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
how you
types of meditation, or what you're meditating on.
types.
For close reconnection.
No.
Number 7 lines.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
but I can't remember what's the name.
Oh, yeah. It's no discrimination. And what was the other one?
Advanced person going into nirvana.
That's it.
Doesn't have to return.
Yeah, non-returning. Exactly. Good.
By the way, I'm not sure if it's the point is a non-returner or a person on the cusp of. Yeah, I have a feeling it might be the meditation between or something. You see, because that would be significant.
Okay.
You see. It would be more. What do you call that?
Relevant?
What's the other word from relevant? Germane. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What is the absurd consequence of not having a foundation consciousness in these sorts of meditation?
No body.
Yeah, family. Yeah, exactly. You would. I mean, the body would be.
Missing gone.
The body. It would be dead body.
Dead body.
Must be a dead body. Yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot of people in the translation class in the afternoon. There must be a kunchi because people in the afternoon translation class get up and walk away.
You're dead, but when you poke them,
We should try poking them. Nothing. We got nothing. We've disproved kunchi.
Explain for the green stretch band people.
Oh, well.
What's your school?
My school is called Mind Only School. It's one of the ancient schools of India taught by Lord Buddha. It came about when a bodhisattva asked a question asked a question about why did the Buddhist teachings seem to contradict themselves, and so Lord Buddha made all these very fine discriminations
Nice.
That
Which is the name of the
the turning of the wheel.
third turning of the wheel.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And then made this very complex and confusing school of extremely fine discriminations and seemingly absurd arguments that don't quite make sense. And right now,
But are helpful.
to some people. And the two main teachings that came out of that school are two extra consciousnesses, like other than eye, ear, nose, brain, and taste, and feeling. Which one is called kunshi, which is a foundation consciousness, which is supposed to be the foundation of everything, your whole world, essentially, because it's where all the seeds from all the deeds you do are kept. And the next one is called the negative consciousness, which basically creates all your mental afflictions because of how it relates to your world and your foundation consciousness. And so we're in a section of the book which is proving that the foundation consciousness exists more or less, or refuting arguments that disprove it. And we're in the 8th of 8 of those, or we'll be on the 8th one today. Okay?
And I would like to add the word background consciousness. Because the foundation consciousness has two jobs. One is to store all your karmic seeds, but the other is to give a background to your life. And because the other consciousness come and go. You see things, you stop seeing things, you smell things, you stop smelling things, you're thinking and you're not thinking. But there must be a background consciousness, which is kind of like your life. And that should store your karmic seeds, because if it comes and goes, then your karmic seeds come and go. They just disappear when you stop listening in class, right? So there must be, according to this idea, a background life to your mind, which is also where you store your seeds.
I thought the idea was the fact that it stored the seeds makes it the background.
That gets too complicated.
Alright.
But it's true. Okay. Number 3.
Good enough. Okay. How does this argument relate to the direct perception of emptiness? So, what was that, Ina? You sounded right-ish.
She's always right, if I may point out, but say it louder. There's no one seeing emptiness directly if there's no foundation consciousness, because during that time your normal consciousnesses are shut down.
Yes.
How's that?
That's
Medium.
perfect.
I mean, it's
I mean,
Is that what it was said?
that's what exactly.
yeah, right.
But I thought it was a separate argument. It was part
Yeah.
of that same argument.
It was separate.
It was
I mean,
kind of
the
like a
argument- no, it
comma.
was part of the same argument, but a different example. of
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
that argument is
exactly.
true.
Yeah, Tsongkhapa gives 2 examples for number 8. Or number, whichever number it is, 6
Yeah.
or something.
Okay, these are the only kind of newish words. So, Dushe Mepe, Numjo?
The meditation which doesn't discriminate, non-discriminating meditation.
Yes, the 7th. Formless realm meditation thing.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, we're all making distinctions between things has stopped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's a samsaric meditation, right? It's not emptiness, right?
And you just forget your keys if you do it too much.
Yep.
Gopnu?
Sensation meditation.
Yes.
And by the way, if you talk about these two in terms of the lion's dance, the first one is kind of the peak before you get to past life discussion, seeds discussion. And then the second is actually the meditation on the seeds and how the teacher couldn't not be coming from the seeds. Okay.
And then the last one,
Unstained, uninterrupted.
yeah, which is a synonym for
Direct perception of emptiness.
Yeah, and the flavor is more Abhidharma. Okay. By the way, what would the flavor be for, I don't know, in a teaching on the 60 verses?
Flavor for Nyartak Sagme.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost add another one here. Soso rang rikpe yeshe.
The mind which
Soso rang
the
rikpe
definition
yeshe.
of ultimate reality.
No,
Soso
insight.
rang rikpe
Oh.
yeshe.
Insight.
Insight.
Yeah, don't translate it as
In,
Apperception.
apperception. The mind, yeah, I'm just saying that as you read more and more of Chandakirti on the 60 verses, he tends to use that phrase.
Oh.
And it doesn't mean apperception.
Insight.
Although that school does accept apperception, okay? Apperception means the ability of the mind to see itself
While it's
in the same moment that it's thinking. And other schools would say there has to be some kind of toggling going on very fast. Can you think your thoughts and listen to them at the same time? We say no. It's always you're always a millisecond behind. You're listening to a thought that was thunk in the past, okay? Which is why it's so hard to stop depression, for example. Okay?
Is Gokram usually equated with the meditation that you go into nirvana, like when you reach nirvana?
I think so. I think there's a strong flavor of that, yeah. It would be related with the fourth of the results of the practice of virtue. Yeah. Okay.
What is the difference between the Satme and Chime?
And what?
Chime and Satme,
Almost the same.
almost the same.
Almost the same. Sagme is a little bit more Abhidharma. Yeah. Okay. Good question. Are you done? You're done, right?
Yes. More
Okay. So this term, we're going to be giving a gift to the people downstairs, and we're going to give them a gift from our group, the mixed nuts. They're going to get some mixed nuts, and in my opinion, you know, as watching all of your translations at the same time, words had a huge breakthrough. You know, in my opinion, it's the clearest explanation of the mind-only school you can get in this world right now. So, you know, we're kind of over the hump with his text, so I needed something to show our sponsor. And so we decided to print it, Nick and me decided to print it, what we have so far, because it's pretty much a breakthrough in the mind-only scholarship. It's a great mind-only text. So I'd like to give Word a hand, and here everybody's going to get a copy. And it's all downhill from here, I'm sure.
We're all gonna get a
Nothing
copy
difficult. No. No money
to take
opinion.
home, so we don't need dictionaries.
Yeah. And in my class downstairs, I got. Oh, I'll take one. In my class downstairs, handsome guy.
You look
That's
like
a
you're
great
laughing-
photo. Who
laughing
took the
at a
photo?
joke here.
Who took the photo?
You're gonna get one downstairs. Yeah.
You can take it now and then later.
Start reading it now, but don't take two. Then it will weigh down your luggage.
We need one over here, Seiji.
You did. Oh.
So in my class downstairs,
You do?
Oh, she already
in my
has one.
class downstairs, in my class downstairs,
Yes?
I would like to give today I'd like to do a presentation. So you have to be up in the front. When I call, you have to be ready to come up to the front. And then I'd like two of you to have piles in your hands and ready to run through the audience, rejoice fully, and hand them out. Because today's pizza party day, and you know, it's kind of a special day. We kind of all let our hair down, if you have hair, today. Okay, and so I think we'll have fun downstairs. Also, I don't have that much to talk about downstairs. So. I mean, just kidding. Okay, here we go.
Some people who are in our class who can't fit in there in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
So just if you're passing things out, just remember that.
Say again?
There's people in our class who are in the next room because there's.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just so that,
I have an extra copy that I can
I think
sacrifice.
there are extra copies. It's just
Yeah, we have
I didn't get
enough.
Okay, now, when you hand it to people, what are you going to say to them?
Tashi did.
Read one paragraph at a time. Do not attempt to read it as a book. Do not attempt to read it as a novel. You won't understand anything, and you will never go back to it.
Yeah.
Okay? Read one paragraph a day. And it's not a detective novel. It's mind only. Okay? Read a sentence. If you don't understand it, stop and read it again. Okay? It's like Nick's text. Okay.
Right. We're not going to
Yeah.
find out who done it at the end.
Okay, here we go. Go.
And you can remind people that there's a link to donate at 10,000 books of books.
Yeah.
That's a really good piece of advice.
Go.
Rikpe gepani kunshi yute. Luki shotu mene rimhi tune chip hoa yupechu.
This has some interesting words. Rikpa. Don't say. Good. The eighth argument. The eighth. Gepa, not gepo. The eighth argument, which is cool. We're almost done with the 8 arguments, which is itself a huge advancement in mind-only study in this world. To get through the 8 arguments is a big deal, although it doesn't feel like that. Kunshi yote. The mind-only guy says, there must be a kunshi.
Oh, yeah.
There's gotta be a kunshi because when you chipoa,
When you go on,
I like to translate it as die and move on. I like to separate it. Die and move on. When you die and move on, the ushma
the warm
of the body retracts.
lessons.
It means retracts. It comes. What do you call it? It leaves the limbs and the legs. To me,
One direction, only down?
nope. From the te and from the me.
Oh, from the extremities to the.
Yeah, good. From the top and from the bottom towards the heart. So if you could put your hands on the leg, the ankle would get cold before the knee,
Okay.
and I don't know, the hand would get cold before the elbow or something. So warmth, the warmth of the body retracts to the center, rimki, gradually. This is a great word. Top of the bottom and bottom of the body, top of the body and bottom of the body, because this is I had a class with Dr. Wu 2 days ago, and we were talking about gyutu and gyume.
Tantra colleges?
Yeah, one is on the top of a mountain and one is at the base of a mountain, so they're called upper tantric college and lower tantric college, not by quality, because the lower one is higher quality, which is the one you're associated with. Because my lama was the vice abbot. Okay. Gyume. Like Sarah May is the same. Okay. So anyway, it's interesting if you want to teach somebody about doing May, here's a great place. Upper part of your body and the lower part of your body. Okay? And the tru is the warmth, which can also be called trowa. Okay? It's synonyms. The warmth of the body retracts step by step from the top and the bottom, okay? Therefore, kunshi.
All right.
Because
Therefore, there is a foundation consciousness. Why?
Because your eyes, ears, nose,
Good.
tongue,
Yeah.
and the like are here.
Your toes wouldn't be alive at that point if you didn't have a kunshi.
and you still have mercy.
Are they not though? Isn't that the point that they're not? No.
Well, then you would die 2,000 times.
Or you wouldn't exist
You know what I
because
mean?
your toes aren't alive anymore.
Yeah. If you died when your toes got cold, then you would die many times as you die. So there must be a background consciousness. Yeah, which is still around until the last spark blinks out. Okay. Therefore, because of the way that people die, there has to be who covers the toes once the feelings of the body have retracted from the toes. There must be some background consciousness there in the toes, covering the toes. Okay.
Wow.
It's similar to the poke argument.
Once they're cold?
Yes, once they're
Or is
cold.
that retracting?
Not retracted yet, still there.
Okay.
The person is still there. I mean, I'm saying that's what they're saying, and that's the point of the
Or did we just learn
of
that
the
Gucci
image.
is
Okay.
warm?
And stop picking on me. All right. By the way, in the Golden Key, this is all they say about it.
What did they?
Uh,
all they say is the warmth section?
No, there would be a
Yeah.
problem with dying and moving on.
Oh, that's all they say.
And you see, it kind of makes sense because the argument was who takes birth
Yeah, right.
on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's no background
And
consciousness,
then,
well, who takes birth? You know, because all the other consciousness haven't come out yet. Because Sugang's book says you don't get your sense organs until link number 5 or 4.5. Okay, got it? So it's tempting to think that when the Golden Key, his other commentary says this argument is about what moves on. It's tempting to translate it like that, but this contradicts that. This is saying something else. Would there be any life in the toes? Okay, got it? So you need this commentary to understand the other one. Or maybe they don't understand each other. Okay, which is going to be possible in these 3 explanations of these 8 arguments. Who's the 3?
Noam Paladin.
Yeah, one by the great Mongol scholar.
Rikberelchi.
Sorry?
Rikberelchi.
Yeah, one by Fearless Blade, which is his author.
Jason Oliver.
And one by Tsongkhapa. And we haven't gone to the Tsongkhapa. I promised you and I didn't do it. Okay,
Yeshua,
what?
maybe there's an order to the 8 then. Because the first one starts with like why you can't take a body and the last one in.
That's kind of a cool argument. That's something you could talk about at Diamond Mountain when you're talking about your text. It's an interesting point. Did you catch this point? The 8th argument is about the end of life, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, the order
And the first argument is about the beginning of life. You know. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna add some spaces so we can see the whole thing in one piece. Okay. Go ahead.
Capte, kunshi, lu tamche, la kapar, ne pate, nam penpa sepana, lu ki chakyang, kunshi,
Kang.
oh kang, kunshi, tendu, mi rumwar, kyorwa, tene, dupe, rimpa shindu, trukyang, tupa yinla, kunshi mena, lu tamche la, kape, nam shi pangyor, we churim ki, chuatum, mi rumwe, chiro.
Good, Chiro. He makes a pun here for $0. Anybody want to pre-guess, or you want me to go?
Kun and
Yeah. It must be the case because of the coverage of the warmth of the body. He uses the word kyup twice. Kyup is the Tibetan word for logical necessity, but it's also the word for the covering of the warmth of the body. And he says kyup because kyup. You see, he's making a joke, but who cares? Yeah, he's done it twice. Okay? Kyapte, the kunshi, the foundation consciousness, stays kyabaing the whole body, every part of the body. Every part of the body is covered by background consciousness, okay? Now this goes directly to Sugang's detour. Anybody want to explain?
when the throwing karma wears out.
Good. Yeah. When the projection of your past life's karma to a new life wears out, meaning
You die.
you're dying. Okay. Like the power of the billiard ball is, slowing down. And the Pemba's about to say the arrow is starting to drop to the ground, which is Pemba, right? And this as a 99% of the time means or it's the first part of sky. But when it starts a sentence, be alerted that it can mean when.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Okay, and it's kind of unusual, but it happens. It happens fairly frequently. I'd say there's 1,000 in the database. Okay, when the Pemba sit, when the arrow's thrust wears out and it starts to drop to the ground, sepana, lukicha kang,
Condition of having
Parts of your body.
of course.
yeah, lukicha kang, kunshi tendo mirua kyurwa tene. I'm going to leave it for a second. Tene dupe rimba. Then the retraction of the warmth Okay, dupa here doesn't mean included in a group.
Right.
It means to be withdrawn. Okay, it's withdrawn. Step by step, toes, ankle, knee. Okay, rimshin to as the I don't know. As each, I'm going to go for this difficult part. As each part of the body becomes inappropriate to support kunshi anymore. As each part of the body becomes inappropriate, which kind of contradicts what I said before. As each part of the body becomes inappropriate to support foundation consciousness anymore, then one by one, the kunshi starts to, so it contradicts what I said before. Yeah, it contradicts what I said before. So the kunshi retracts. And then the tra also retracts, following the kunshi.
So maybe your feet are dead.
Yeah, maybe your feet are dead. So I think I misstated it, okay? Well, I definitely misstated it. The warmth follows the kunshi, okay? As the kunshi retracts, the warmth retracts. Therefore, kunshi exists. It's not as convincing, in my opinion, but okay.
It's more if you just say that's where the person stays when the toes die. That,
Yeah, and here's where he summarizes the argument, which proves what I said before was wrong. Okay, he says kunshi mena. If there was no kunshi, then the awareness which covers the whole body would just blink out. So something we don't believe in is invisible, supportive. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Therefore, and in that case, this must be seduce. Sedu. There it is. Yeah, it is sedu. I'm just gonna correct it, okay? Because he's mentioned it above. Okay, SDUD. Okay, it would be inappropriate for the warmth to move gradually, step by step, if there's no kunshi. Okay,
I don't understand.
there would be no consciousness that covered the whole body. Since there is no consciousness that covers the whole body, it would be inappropriate for the warmth to be retracted in stages. It's kind of opposite,
I
right?
don't totally get it.
It's kind of, well, I'm just translating.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I don't totally understand what he's saying.
Because
The way
Kunshi
he's saying it.
was, yeah, it covered every single thing. And
Yeah.
if you say every single thing and some of it dies, then yeah, Kunshi's damaged. It's right, so.
Yeah, I know. It seems to be an argument against kunshi, but he's using it as an argument for kunshi.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this sentence is pretty clear. You know. Anyway, I respectfully don't understand. Okay, now we're going on to another subject, which is oh, I'm sorry. Let me think about this.
Should we cover our author's 8 arguments now?
Yeah. Oh, actually, let me see. Let me see if there's a reason why I added this. I think there was, if I remember correctly. I think I shot two deer with one bullet.
That's supposed
Well, except for the shooting.
Yeah, it clarifies the sword. Okay, it's useful, so I threw it in. We are done with the 8 arguments. We are going on to comments about kunshi in other scriptures. Okay, but his Ngawang Pelden's, the Mongols' presentation is also useful for that. Maybe you have to split it into 2 appendicitis. Okay, I don't know, but it's useful. It's going to help you attack Fearless Blade. Okay, who helps you attack Tsongkhapa? Not that you want to attack Tsongkhapa. Okay, okay. So anyway, I suggest we include it. Okay, here we go.
And who's it from?
We're still in Noam Pelden.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
It's his next subject.
just the next.
So technically, that appendix should stop there because he stops talking about the 8 proofs. But I saw there's trouble with Fearless Blade's treatment of the next subject. So I threw in the Mongols' explanation of this subject because it comes next. So let's might as well do that and then go back to
What percentage of that text is mind only?
whose text.
Not choosing one.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. It's not a mind-only text.
It's a portion text.
Yeah, it's a lower Madhyamika text, but he just talks about. I don't know. I didn't see how long he goes on, but I don't think it's going to be very long. It's not traditional to elucidate the mind only in the middle of a yikcha, of a monastic textbook on the lower middle way. It's not traditional to go too far, but he does. So,
Just curious.
okay, okay, it's a good question. Go ahead, read please.
Kunshi ni tekmen rang la trakwe lung le kyang sumke sawar.
Translate that sentence.
The kunshi in the Hinayana system.
Nope.
Wait, so
Kunchi is also sung
spoken about
in the lung,
in the text.
which are takpa,
Famous
Famous.
more like common usage
for. Okay.
Wow.
among the Tikmen themselves.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at the books that are popular among the Hinayana people, you can find references to Kunchi. So so it must be real.
So he's trying to.
He's
pull the
going to-
Garjana thing, right?
He's done Rekpa, he's going to
Use
Lung.
the lower school to prove to themselves.
Yeah, he's kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. He's doing a 60 verses thing, but he's saying in the books which are current among the Hinayana, you also see quotations that would support the idea of foundation consciousness. Okay, that's where he's going.
First line is
Uh,
convincing.
How is it so,
Yeah, right.
yeah, and no, he goes to Tsongkhapa's root text.
right?
Okay,
Okay.
on the mind only.
Oh.
What's Tsongkhapa's root text called?
The difficult points.
Yeah, yeah. The book we're using to study the mind-only school only talks about the hard stuff, which has made it hard for us. Okay, and here's a verse. It happens to be verse 38 from Tsongkhapa's root text. You can kind of take a shot at it.
So foundation consciousness. In discussion of foundation consciousness.
Good.
Yeah.
Take man suklak.
The
By the way, how do you know there's an error here?
because God shouldn't be after me.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Too long.
Tekmen,
There's
God.
too many beats.
Meters.
There's too many beats, okay? Kunshi number shepa de. And now I'm going to do the third line. Kushi tsawe namshe dang. Sipe yenla gc pe. Pumbe namdan daki ten. Now I'll do the second line. Take man god tsuk lak namsu young. Okay, so you're supposed to say, oop, there must be a boo-boo there. The beat's wrong, okay? Okay, he added an extra. So anyway, it's suk and not katsuk, okay? Sukla namsu young, okay? And then you know the famous name of the temple in Dharamsala, Suglakang. They don't call it the temple, they call it the library. Okay, because Tsuklak means, it's the ancient word for book. An extremely ancient word for scripture. Okay, so Kunshi Nabashepade, in the
In Hinayana text, they also
good,
talk about
in the Hinayana text, they talk about, now, they talk about Kunshi in terms of certain idiomatic expressions, okay? So you're supposed to pause after Kunshi here, okay? They talk about Kunshi. Kunshi is what they're talking about in the Hinayana scriptures when they say, Sawi Namshi.
so root consciousness.
Yeah, background consciousness, you see? So therefore, it's mentioned in the Hinayana scriptures. Kunshi must exist. We finished 8 logical arguments why it should exist, and now we are going to scriptural authority. Even the Hinayana books talk about Kunshi because the Hinayana books mention a background consciousness.
Mola Vishnu.
Okay, Yeah. And they mention a sipe yenlang.
It ten. I mean,
Yeah,
Something about
a component of life. A component of life.
I think wait, but it says Yanmaji Sipe, a component of life that makes life possible, or
We'll get there.
okay.
We'll get there.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
Namtang means, look, they have synonyms for kunshi, for found. They have like root consciousness, background consciousness. These are all references to foundation consciousness. Okay, all right. We're gonna break it down later. Okay,
Okay.
we'll have a breakdown later. Okay. Keep going.
Chicle, Trupa Le, Ke, Kukunshi La, Kuntugawa, Shesoktan.
Yeah, and this is a separate reference to books which talk about kunshi, and it's a sutra called The Continuation of One. It's a sutra called The Continuation of One, okay? And that also says people like to talk about foundation consciousness. People are attracted to the idea of a foundation consciousness. So he said not only are there these Hinayana books which talk about it, there's sutras that talk about kunshi. Don't blame it on me. You know, I'm just reporting what the scriptures say. And that's from Kangyur. That's the word of the Buddha. People like the idea of a kunshi. Does that prove it exists, by the way? No, it almost proves it doesn't exist. You know, some people need a background consciousness because they don't feel comfortable with no background consciousness. It's almost a condemnation of his own belief, okay? All right. Then I went and got it for you. By the way, you won't find a book called Continuation from One in the Kangyur anymore. But all the references he gives in this section are from a book by a Sangha called Mahayana Sangraha. Okay, a collection on the beliefs of the higher way. Okay. So you can get yourself frustrated for hours trying to find them in the Kangyur, or you can just go to the Mahayana Sangraha, which is where everybody got them from. Okay, so I've discovered that. All right. Okay, got it? And by the way, here's the whole quotation. You want to read it? Okay, Tepa Chenpa Dupar, which is Tsongkhapa quoting the Mahayana Sangraha. And it says,
Tipa Chenpo Dupa Chikle Trupe Lungte Deshin Shekpa Njungle Henyun Nampa Shi Tole.
yeah, so the name of the sutra is the book that is a continuation of the one, a presentation on the four qualities that you get when you become a Buddha. That's the whole name of the sutra, according to a Sangha. And I don't think, I studied it above when you get to it in the key, okay? But I don't think it's separately quoted. By the way, no, it is separately quoted in the Kangyur. There is a book that you find this quotation. It's not the one they mention, but it could be another name of that sutra. So there is such a sutra. And I studied it above and I didn't repeat it here. Okay, we'll get there. But that says, Kegu kun shila kuntakawa. Everyone likes this idea of a foundation consciousness. Kunshi lagawa. They really like. Oh, everyone's in love with this idea of a kunshi. They like the kunshi. Kunshi le yandapa jungwa. They like the idea of things coming from kunshi. Kunshi la ngomba gawa chen. And they're just totally enamored of the idea of a kunshi. Okay? De la kunshi pambe chir. Chitena. And if you want to know why it don't exist, then turn your ears to me, or something like
This
that.
is a Sangha quoting this suit?
Yeah, it's a Sangha quoting.
Oh, no.
It's Jetson Kappa quoting a Sangha quoting the sutra.
but it's Jetson Kappa quoting it to say this proves that they say it exists there, even though it's a sangha saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't want to go too far
Who is
there.
its
We're going to
loudest
study it
opponent?
above. We're going to go deep into this quotation. I did not repeat it down here.
Okay.
But just so you know, there's a sutra that talks about it.
I think it might be the Chinese still.
Could very well be. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. Pelchen Dewa.
De-
Dewa.
Yeah, Depe, really. Oops. Dewe Jung, right? Just kidding.
Pelchen Depe Lung Le.
I'm sorry. Let me group this for you.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Alright. Cao Wei Nampar Shipa Shen Jung Wa Tang.
Yeah, pause there and explain.
So there's this, the sutra called the Majority Sutra. Well, it's Avantak. What's it called? The
Avatansaka.
Avatansaka. Yeah.
But it's the root scripture of this group, subgroup of Abhidhamma,
Oh yeah.
which
the
you can
majority
have a
people-
footnote drawn from his text.
Right. The people. Who
He went
follow-
into it.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Last time.
Okay. Cool. We can have another case of incest where people take the books and cross pollination.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, I like that better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyway, that book, that root text of this early Abhidharma group says, it's just one phrase, Sawe Namshe,
Yeah.
background consciousness.
Background consciousness.
Therefore, my kunshi exists. Now, it's not a kyaba, right? But therefore, kunshi is presented in the scriptures.
Therefore, it was mentioned once.
Because background awareness is mentioned in the scriptures. And not only that,
But yeah, Nathan Pe Lung Le Sipe Yenla.
that's all. Okay?
Right.
And kunshi is supported by scripture because the elder says a branch of existence.
The elder is also another.
I think, yeah, good. Yeah,
So
it's a, yeah, the,
Abhidharma.
the scriptures of the elders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Which is another Abhidharma group. Why does he keep quoting Abhidharma groups?
Because we're talking about lower school.
Yeah, his assertion is that even in the lower schools, they talk about kunshi.
Step.
Okay. And,
One of the other.
go. Satan.
Oh yeah, are they going through every single?
Yep.
every single
Are.
school? Yeah, here we go again.
Okay.
Satan Depe Lungle
Hmm.
Kore GC De Pumpo.
Yeah, a part of you which survives as long as samsara. Therefore, there's a background consciousness. There's a part of you, it's like a soul. There's a part of you which survives death, birth, until the end of samsara. Therefore, there's a kunchi. He's pulling these out as support for my idea. They're kind of weird. Okay, never should be. Okay, keep going. She sumbanam ki.
She Sumpa Nam Ki Kunshi Nam Par Shepe Lam Chenpo Tongwa Kona Yin Par Tek Le Sumpe Chiro.
Yeah, take to Mahayana Sangraha by Asanga, okay, states that these supports for kunshi are, you can read this as either reasons why we should throw away that idea
Yeah, take them away.
or reasons why it's a good idea, because he uses the word tong.
Like take them on or take them away.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to study it.
But all the other ones.
It could be that Asanga is using them to say why there is no kunshi, this great path. But since they call it the great path,
Right.
you're great, but it could be sarcastic. Your magnificent presentation of the kunshi is nothing more than discarded by these quotations. Kona. There's a reason for Kona here.
Yeah.
You say they support, but they are nothing more than proofs of why there's no kunshi. I mean, it could go either way. I'm not deciding yet. Okay.
But within
We'll go back there. Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the answer to this conundrum is very sexy. Okay, we're setting up a conundrum, a difficult point, and the answer is it's very surprising. Okay, but keep in mind there's a tension going on here. Is he discarding the idea or is he proving the idea? Okay, okay, let's go. Data.
데이터 숨때 군시라 역시 미 총양 쪽숨 림신 분보 소르와탄 직타 숨나 공시드.
Yeah, now this is Tsongkhapa root text. It's going to come later. It's his comment on these attempted references. Okay, it's his comment on these attempted proofs for Kunshi. And he says, Master Vasumitra, which is very similar to Vasubandhu, right? Yignin. The problem is you could even say Yikbeshinyan, and then it would be Vasubandhu. Okay, Yignin, Shinyan, like Geshe. Okay, yeah, I take it Vasumitra. Okay. Yeah, that's true. But Bandhu is Vasu is Nyan, Yignin. Yeah. We don't call him we don't call Vasu Bandhu Vasumitra. It seems to be another person.
Okay, so I check the dictionary. They have a pao in front of the shit. Is that right?
Where? Here?
No, ishe. They have a pao in front of the shit.
Oh. How?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's all right. Then it's Mitra. Then it's friend. Yeah. Yeah. But it's also the she in Bandhu. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a Damka. Either one. Then there's a scholar named Mutung, which is the Tibetan word for dwarf.
Little guy.
Yeah, like a half-sized person. Now, I tried to find the Sanskrit. I couldn't find it. Probably you can find it. Apparently there's an ancient Buddhist scholar named the dwarf. Okay, Mutung. And there was one called Yangdrog, which is like, and I'll show you the study of the Sanskrit above. I did it above. Okay. Yeah, like the one who proclaims the beautiful sound. Okay, probably of the truth of the Dharma or something. Truth of Dharma proclaimer. Okay, now those three guys have a different opinion of what these quotations were referring to. For example, when you say background consciousness or root consciousness, they say, no, that wasn't talking about Kunshi. That was talking about, these three guys say, you have to take that reference to, see right here, Tsawi Nampa Shepa, a root awareness in the body, a mother awareness in the body. Okay? Some guys say, the mind-only school says, oh, he's talking about a Kunshi. And these three guys say, he's talking about something else. So they interpret the words background consciousness. They say, no, it's not talking about Kunshi, it's talking about something else. And each one of these three guys has a different opinion. Okay, so we're going to have three opinions about what is the scriptural reference to a root consciousness. The first guy says, okay, Rimshin means what?
Step by step. Or
Respectively. Yeah, respectively. He's just talking about Pumbo.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just talking about the five heaps. Who said that?
Yikshe?
Yeah, Vasumitra. Okay. Oh, and this other guy said, no. He's talking about Sorwa. Your capacity of sensation, feeling. Okay. Who said that? The dwarf. Okay. By the way, probably we shouldn't call him a bad name. Maybe he was shorter than the other guys. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think Mutung here refers to dwarf. In modern Tibetan, it means dwarf. But I think it just means he was shorter or something. Yeah, shorty, exactly. And it is a little diminutive. Okay, you is the diminutive in Tibetan.
It's a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's you and Tung, right?
Yeah, little guy, little dude. Okay, Tung is an explanation of U. Okay, so and then Yangdrog said,
No, it's just
Read across the lines. Read across the lines.
The view of the perishable is not.
Good, good. It's a kind of ignorance he's talking about. The awareness that always stays with you is ignorance. Don't give it credit for being kunshi. Okay, he says when Buddha mentioned an awareness that you always have, he was talking about ignorance, man. Forget the kunshi. You know, he was talking about an evil state of mind that you never lose. That's your root consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go calling it. Don't go saying it was kunshi. That wasn't what he's talking about. Okay, so three guys have three versions about what root consciousness means. Okay, got it?
Yes.
All right, Sumla. That's what.
Thank you.
Okay, I almost said $50, but let's make it 20. Gongshe de.
That's the true intent of what is being said.
You got 25.
That's the true intent of the quote.
10. It just dropped.
So it's really
Oh, you can say that.
Oh.
Who de?
No.
Who de here? There's the de. Who's doing?
Jason Kaplan?
No, those three guys believe
Oh, those guys believe
that the quotation was gong.
That's
Oh,
really
it's the
accepted
true
by them.
intent.
Yeah.
was
That's what the quotation was really thinking about.
right.
Okay, got it? Gongshe de means that's the three positions they take on what the Buddha really meant. And that's why I use Gong, Dode Gongdel Sandi Nirmochana Sutra as what I really meant. And here you see it. They say, they take the position, de, that that's what the Buddha really meant when he said root consciousness. And there's three different ideas, right? Three different dupas. Okay, about the gong. Got it? Did I still owe him money? He got half of it. 25. Enough to buy me lunch.
1375.
1379. Stop here. Oh, by the way, I was relating it to root consciousness. I made an error. Okay? I made an error, which is unusual, I know, but these are three beliefs about what the Buddha really meant when he said kunshi in the sutra before, way back here. Everyone likes the idea of kunshi. Okay? Everyone likes the idea of kunshi. Okay? Way back here. In the sutra, what was quoted by a sangha. Okay? So I was saying root consciousness or something. No, it's talking about three interpretations of what the Buddha meant when he said everyone likes kunshi.
In the root text.
The Buddha did state everyone likes kunshi.
So what
And these three guys say it wasn't talking about your mind-only kunshi. It was talking about the heaps. And then one guy says, no, it was talking about feeling. And the third guy says, no, it was talking about,
Jikta.
yeah, ignorance itself.
So
Okay.
what is Sawa literally then in that context?
Oh, we're not talking about Sawa Namshe. I made a mistake. These are three interpretations of what the Buddha meant when he said kunshi. Okay. The Tsawai Namshe thing was later by other people, like by Tengyur people. Okay, got it? This is more powerful, right? Because we are explaining who meant.
Lord Buddha.
Yeah, the mind-only guy says, come on, there's 8, I just gave you 8 proofs. You want scripture? Yeah, give me scripture. Buddha said everybody likes the idea of kunshi. And then these three guys say, that's not what kunshi meant in those days. Yeah, it meant wrong idea. Everyone's attached to their wrong ideas. And then the guy said, no, everyone's attached to their body, their pumbos. And the guy said, no, everyone's attached to their feeling. Okay, got it? And now we're going to have to see who's right among the three.
And Lord Buddha called it exactly.
Sorry?
Lord Buddha calls it.
He used the exact words alaya vijnana. And so the minority school's going crazy. Oh, look, Buddha agrees with us. Then we say, no, that's wrong. 3 people explained it was something else. And we don't know which one of those 3 guys is correct, by the way.
Well, he didn't
Or they
say
could
which
all
one.
be.
Different context.
Right.
Where do we add the fourth interpretation from the middle way?
Oh, what did Buddha mean when he said kunshi? I think he would go with the jikta. I think he'd go with number 3. Everyone's attached to their wrong idea about the second husband.
They love their wrong
And
idea.
that's the whole problem of the universe, of the world. Everyone's attached to thinking that the husband's coming from his own side. I think as a Madhyamika, I support number 3. The Buddha was actually saying kunshi is a bad thing. Everyone's attracted to this fundamental way of thinking. Okay, that's my opinion. I don't know if that's how it's going to go. But I went and got you the full quotation. It's pretty long. Okay. All right, here we go. What's the date today? 17. Okay, good. Oops. Sorry. Okay. He Joshi Neto Chang Ira Bingshin in the Kampadi Sangye Shindu Nite Uargi Jokunanda Shila Chupasho Iram Guru Rana Mandala Kanya Tayami Di Geo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tsotso Shin Sanam Yeshe Nesue Tampa Kuni Topasho. Oh, I was thinking about what Gibson said. Yeah, let's go see how Tsongkhapa spelled Yukshe. Yeah, he likes the B. Tsongkhapa likes the B. The Mongol doesn't like the B. In Mitra, Vasu Mitra. Yeah, Tsongkhapa likes your comment. Tsongkhapa supports the Gibson. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Interpres.
Who's next?
Who's next? Who's next?
Stanley Bond.
Stanley Bond. Yay!
So I figured out that thing.
You figured out what?
The Nelwa thing.
The who?
Nelwa?
Yay! What'd you come up with?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much like you said, like, nya
Nya is
as a root.
as a
Nya.
linguistic root means
So it's like
pain.
the song of the nya is the Nelwa. So like, the nyen where there's nya is the Nelwas.
What was Nyen? Nyen?
It's nya nyen. The
Oh, Nyen.
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 So, because the first part is that you don't have merit and it's ugly, so it's like a bad place. So nyen. And then the second part is where there's duknya, where there's suffering, which is the nya.
He thinks he figured out the Naraka Sanskrit.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Because it's just like, remember idak was ilatak.
Yeah, that one was painful.
This is as painful.
Oh,
So nyel, which is nyelwa, which is the word for hell or hell being,
yeah.
right? So Geshe-la supposed that the root of that is like grief, like we had it today.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nyan
Nyan.
Nyan. Because D-M-Y-A-L and just the M-Y-A.
Good.
So
Yeah.
grief is Nyan.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what is it? Chonilama? It's Chonilama, right?
Yeah, it's Cherry Lama.
He said the place where there's no merit and it's ugly looking,
Yeah.
right? Because Idu
Don't remember.
Miyung.
Yeah,
says,
yeah, everything's unpleasant.
Suname Yinpa Tang Idu Miyung.
Yeah, a place full of bad karma and unpleasant
And it's ugly,
experiences.
so that's bad. Yen.
Nyan.
And it's Duknyal. Nya.
Oh,
It's grief.
oh, okay.
It's suffering. Yeah. So
Oh, what was the first part? Yidu Miyongwa and what was the first part?
that's Sunama Yinpa.
There's something important there, right?
There's no merit. I checked because that's a punya. I checked everything. Sanskrit. I found nothing except for this.
Yeah,
So,
okay, we're still a little stuck on it.
I think it's as good as Ilatakpa.
I would have gone Naraga. Yeah,
I checked-
Yila Tapa. By the way, there's a little possibility that Yi doc itself is that the doc really is from doc.
Well, that doc is the same doc in redoc, which means like being, I thought.
Which one?
Redoc.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's the same exact doc.
That's a very interesting idea.
Which I thought just
I
means
wouldn't have thought of that.
something running around.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's
Okay.
fine. It's my attempt.
Good job, Diana.
Oh my god, it took like